Hello, welcome again to Going for a Song, and let's see what we turn up today. Always, as usual, new customers. First of all, singer-songwriter appearing at the moment in BBC Radio's Night Ride, and he is Tim Hollier.
Good afternoon.
Challenging him, an actress who says that her interest is mainly, in antiques anyway, in mirrors. Why not? Jane Rossington.
Hello.
On the other side, we welcome back a man who knows a lot about Chinese ceramics and snuff bottles and other things like that. Hugh.
Hello.
And with him, of course, as ever, to help us out in anything that comes amiss and with a knowledge of his own, Arthur Negus.
Hello.
So let's have our first object, please.
And now for viewers at home only, a Chinese snuff bottle made of rock crystal and decorated on the inside. The scene on one side depicts the legendary figure Chu Ko Liang, a subject used by several artists. This one is signed by Chen Chung San and is dated 1909.
And this goes first to Tim Hollier.
Ah.
A knowledgeable R?
Well, no. It's a snuff bottle, I think. Because there's the thingy.
What's the thingy?
It's either for taking it out, because if an English gentleman of the period when this probably was made would have a snuff box as opposed to a bottle, and I don't think you'd pour your snuff out like that. It's got a semi-precious stone in the lid, but something tells me it's not fitting to this, because this looks silver. I think it's Chinese, yes, with an old man on a little donkey crossing a bridge. A Chinese Christopher or something or other. It's a Chinese snuff bottle painted inside the bottle, not outside. And it looks glass, or crystal or something.
So, Jane, we seem to have learned a lot so far. Do you agree with it?
Oh, I think so, yes. I think there's not much I can say more than that, really, except I think it must be about 18-something. Oh, it's got Chinese characters on it, which I can't read, needless to say. That's about all I can add, really.
Well, you think 18-something Chinese snuff bottle, both of you.
Yes.
And both of you have been talking to Hugh Moss, so possibly have imbibed a bit of knowledge from him. I don't know. Hugh?
Can I have my cup of tea and biscuit and go home now? Yes, certainly a Chinese snuff bottle. Interior painted, as Tim says. A very pretty one.
You say interior painted just like that, Hugh, but then how on earth do you paint inside a flat bottle like that?
They're a lot smaller than we are. But apart from that, they have a bamboo pen, and they hold the bottle like this, and they place the pen inside. And the pen has a little sharp angle at the end, which holds the
like
ink.
a dentist's probe?
Yes, and they paint backwards. It's a difficult technique, but once you've learnt it, presumably it's as easy as painting on the outside of something. And they start at the age of something like 5 or 6, learning this art. And once you've learnt the technique of painting backwards, you have to do the detail first, then the middle ground, and then the background.
And you learn how to live backwards, so to speak. You sound as if you
Presumably,
have. Are they still doing this?
Yes, they are, very successfully. It's an art which started in the very early 19th century, blossomed enormously at the late 19th century, and suffered somewhat during the sort of 1930s to 50 period, and has been recently restarted in Peking, and they're doing marvellous work. Really
Are they doing
first-class
original work of today or copying?
They're beginning now in the last 2 or 3 years to do original work, which is very encouraging. They're really doing super work. This particular one is by an artist called Chen Chung San. The signature is up here, these 3 characters, Chen Chung San. It's dated 1909, I believe. It says it's made in Peking. Chen Chung San was an artist that did very little work, but was excellent, and is somewhat underestimated, I always feel.
Now, you said, I believe, it is 1909. Can you read all those Chinese characters?
These, yes, they're relatively simple.
And you could read the date.
Yes.
Is it cyclical date or?
It's a cyclical date, yes, which recurs every 60 years. But one knows this artist worked around the turn of the century.
Well, I call that pretty good, don't you? Arthur, anything to add?
I'd call it absolutely fantastic. You've heard all about everybody, their back and all this. I've been told that these artists lie on their back in order to get the light through so they can see what they're painting. Now, is that true?
It's not actually. This
Not true, someone's deceived me.
No, it stemmed from an early book which translated the Chinese term back painting
I see.
rather
Oh,
loosely.
Yeah.
what a delicious thought.
Yeah.
It's really how it happened, yes. So, Arthur, thank you for bringing that out. We can always count on Arthur to do that. So, here we are. There it is. And these are collected. I mean, Hugh is the specialist in these things who really first started a great interest in them. And I'm sure he will say that is a collectible thing. And it's dated, which makes it more important. So, Tim.
£70.
£70, says Tim Hollier there. And he gave us a very shrewd description of this, but I suspect that he must have learned quite a bit over the teacups from Hugh Moss. Now then, what about you, Jane?
Well, I think I'd go more than that. I'd say 150.
Too much more. It's 100 that they've put on it. So Tim gets away to a good start, leading 5-0. And although I hasten to say they may both have learnt a bit from Hugh, not about this bottle. It was just that they were picking his brains over a cup of tea. They don't see these things before, none of them. The experts or the customers. I just remind you of that again. Let's see what happens with the next one.
This double-lipped blue glass bowl with gilded decoration is a wine glass cooler. It was probably made by Isaac Jacobs of Bristol. Date about 1805.
Jane, your first go this time.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is rather lovely. Beautiful blue with gold, and there's a shield on it. It's got a shield on one side, and a sort of griffin or a lion or something on the back, or a lion rampant or something like that. Obviously a drinking vessel, well, a pouring vessel of some point, with two lips here. I'd say, now, well, Bristol glass is always blue. Well, not always, but I'd say Bristol, and I'd say 1800.
Jane was taking a hard look at Arthur then, but I don't think he gave away anything. Tim?
Glass blue, coat of arms. No, it's gilding. It's got a remarkably sort of modern shape if one would have that in white or just a plain colour. English. It's transfer printed, so 1780, 1790, but apart from that, I know so little about it. But very, very lovely.
For a moment, it looks as if you thought it was going to transfer onto your thumb.
Yes, I thought that.
Well, here we are, Arthur.
Well, I'm sure it's Bristol when it gets round. Yes, that's all right. That's Bristol. It's... Now, when I say what it is, half the people in England will say just the opposite.
Jane said, if you remember, it was a pouring object.
Yes, well, it's what I've always called all my life a double-lipped finger bowl. But in the last 25 years, certain people have come out with the idea, I think because you can't sell finger bowls, that they call them wine glass coolers. And I can't understand this because years and years and years ago, these were always finger bowls. Now you imagine that they stick a wine glass with the bowl inside there in cold water to remain cold, and they suddenly become called wine glass coolers. Well, there it is. It's a lovely double-lipped finger bowl, bearing all the armorials, and it's very, very nice. They come in clear glass and frosted glass, but they're always later. They're all Victorian. When you get one in colour glass like that, which is old, as this is, they are just that little much better.
Arthur, before you hand it over, you turned up the bottom, you said, Bristol, yes it is, you said. Now,
Well,
what told you from the bottom?
Well, there's not much to show on the bottom, but you get a sort of a feel about this. You see, the bottom, this undoubtedly at one time had a pontil mark on it, and this has been so nicely ground out. It's just the base of it you look at, which is not produced like this these days, somehow. The base would be all different if it were modern.
And the date?
The date, they're about right. Anything from, well, just prior to 1800, I guess.
Hugh?
Nothing to add. I'd just like to ask a question. Presumably the spouts were for pouring the water away afterwards.
Yes.
Was the second one purely decorative?
I've no idea. It might have been more convenient to pour it to the left than to the right.
But one must challenge Arthur a little bit on the finger bowl thing, because I don't think with a finger bowl you'd have a spout. So anyway,
Well,
today...
no, just one moment before you
Right,
say
back to
anyhow.
Arthur. Yeah.
Because there are many, many finger bowls which everyone to this day calls finger bowls with one spout. It's simply because these things are double-lipped, or have two that they coined this wine glass cooler.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, Arthur's given you the explanation. It is a wine glass cooler, according to the authorities today, of about 1805, and Blue Bristol, probably made at Jacob's factory.
One.
One from Arthur, and they put it in the bowl outwards and rested the stem in there as the idea, but take your choice. I'm sure you'll take Arthur. And it's your first go there, Jane.
Well, I'd say 80.
£80, says Jane. And now what about our friend Tim?
I'll put my finger in the deep end. £65.
And in fact, 16, because for one thing, as Arthur said, the things that he described them as, which I can't think of them, isn't it awful, don't fetch all that much money. And it's only one. 5, you won there, so it's... No, sorry, you lead by 10-0, don't you? 10-0, Tim Hollier leads. Well, that's the state of the poll, and we come now to Arthur's piece of furniture that he brings along each week, and always something nice, whatever the period, and something different.
Well, perhaps for the first time, so far as I can remember anyway, a piece of Victoriana. You've got to keep up with the times. This is now what's in. But this is a good one. This is just, everybody will know this is a Davenport in figured walnut. You see the quality of the veneers. You can see under there the lovely curls. And you see here, if anyone had any idea about the date of this, these rather heavy, little bit heavy supports, they're just 19th century. And so this is Victorian. Now, this is why I brought this. Everyone knows that when you touch some spring or do something, pull out a drawer and touch something, up comes the stationery rack. And I searched everywhere on this thing and I could not make it work. It's there until the owner showed me all you do is to pull forward the slope and up it comes, just like that. This, you see, this where the ink pots are, always stays upright no matter what you do with it. And that's really why I brought it, because I think that's unusual. And I like unusual things. Little brass gallery, everything about it just the same, except perhaps here and there, 2 candle slides. Those are just a bit unusual, particularly as the thing's about 1850. And the normal drawers down the end, the 4 drawers in the end. No, if they have drawers this way, they're always shams, because obviously that's where your knees go. So there we are. A very good walnut Davenport. And being just that much better elevates it from the normal 50 or 60 pounds to just about double, 100 or 120.
There you are, another thing of quality that Arthur's brought along. So, with the score 10-0 in favour of Tim Hollier, let's see what happens with the next object, please.
A Chinese porcelain saucer dish decorated in famille rose enamels. It was made during the reign of the Emperor Qia Jing in the early 19th century.
And this is first 2, Tim.
A bowl. It's Chinese. Or could it be Japanese, now I can think about. Pretty sort of flower pattern. Not very old, I would think. With little bats. I've never seen bats on... Looking in antique shops, I've never seen bats on them before. I don't know anything about that, Mark. I would say Japanese somehow. Or
Japanese not very old, you think?
about 1820, Japanese or Chinese.
All right. Jane?
I think, I think Chinese.
Just to be different, or?
Yes. No, not really, just sort of... What is it? It's a very strange sort of mark on the back.
We'll let Hugh
Which
decide
doesn't
that.
seem to be either sort of Chinese or what? A sort of square pattern with writing sort of part of it. I don't really know. I should say, yes, last century.
Last
Chinese.
century, Japanese or Chinese? Hugh.
It's certainly Chinese. The seal mark on the bottom, the reason you probably had trouble making out what sort of characters they were is because they're written in seal script, which is normal Chinese translated into different hieroglyphics. Well, they're the same hieroglyphics, but just exaggerated or formalized. The Chinese have all sorts of different scripts, which this particular one, they've squared everything off and made it very formal. And they have various different scripts, which one can learn, which use the same characters but in different forms. This particular one gives the name of the dynasty. The two right-hand characters there say Great Qing Dynasty. The two middle ones give the name of the emperor, which is Cha Qing, who ruled from 1795 to 1820, I believe. And the last ones say year in which it was made. The piece is perfectly genuine from that period. Very pretty design with mostly green enamels, but just the introduction of the rose pink here. The rose pink colour was introduced in the early 18th century and was used very much from then on. And it's rather nice to find a piece of this sort of period which isn't absolutely overburdened with pink.
It's probably Chinese taste, that, really.
Yes,
isn't it?
much more Chinese taste than the European taste, which was creeping in very much in that time. A lovely little dish, charming thing. The bats on the back are symbolic of happiness because of the Chinese homophone, I believe they're called, where fu means bat and happiness, but pronounced differently. And you in fact find this on a lot of Chinese porcelain. They're very happy things to have on. This has 5, which is, again, an auspicious number. You get nearly always odd numbers, 3 or 5 or 7 or 9.
Well, I think a bat would be a good sign for Arthur. He's always happy. Let him have a look at that now.
Well, I'm always happy, but of course, my knowledge is nothing compared to this fella's on this Oriental stuff. I wouldn't have known what it was. You see, the very fact they've squared everything up stops me from understanding the mark.
Thank you, Arthur. I think you'll have more to say about the next object in a minute. It's the turn, isn't it, of Jane. First go at that. Nice piece of porcelain, but it's 19th century, don't forget, not 18th. Early 19th.
Oh dear, Chinese porcelain. Oh dear, £40.
£40, says Jane.
Oh.
And what about you, Tim?
I'll go up a bit because they liked it. I think £70.
And you are nearer the mark because it's 85, still just outside, and I must keep you outside the 10% range to give Jane any chance at all. But you are outside, so it's 15-0 that she leads. And if we're only going to have one more object, as I think we are, you can't catch up, but we'll see. Let's see the next one.
An English soft-paste porcelain figure of a goatherd. It's decorated with a white glaze with splashes of manganese. It was made at the Longton Hall factory about 1755.
This goes straight to Jane.
Who is very puzzled. Well, this is a figurine, and it's got a crack in it.
Don't worry about that.
Oh.
Lots of those things
Sorry,
have cracks in them.
Notice. Oh, now there are some marks underneath, but I don't think they're going to mean much to me.
Yeah,
It's got a sort of strange. I wonder what it's made out of.
Have a quick go at it.
Oh dear, I'd say. I somehow feel it's sort of German.
German.
Yes.
Right, stick on that. What about you, Tim?
Ooh. I would think it's very old indeed. If German, because it's not coloured, and I have never seen a white piece like this. Is it a fable of some sort, or allegorical character? It's completely white except where the glaze has gone inside. I daren't say a very early piece of Meissen because of all this here. That's
Let's
just about it.
see then what Arthur says, and I think we'll just stick to Arthur on this, if we may, because there isn't very long left.
Well, I'm not sure where it was made, but I know what it is. This is, that's right, this is a lost sheep. Here is a shepherd who has found this poor little sheep and has tethered its legs and put it across his back, and he's bringing it home. But Lord bless me, I don't know where it was made.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
I don't know where it was made at all.
Well, saying
No
that it's
idea.
English, Arthur,
Yeah.
where then?
Still don't know. No, I'm no good guessing. I either know these things or I don't. I don't know what that is.
Let's see if Hugh can have a quick go, by any chance.
It's a fart.
Knowing absolutely nothing whatsoever about English porcelain. No help.
No help. It is Longton Hall, in fact. I think it's puzzled most of us. Very heavy inside there. Longton Hall figures tend to be turned half left or right, so possibly that is a clue that answers itself there, but it could be mistaken for many things. Why not German, Italian, or something else? But there it is. It's a Longton Hall figure, and therefore quite desirable, about 1755, thereabouts. Your turn, Tim. No, it isn't. Sorry, it's Jane. Beg your pardon.
Oh, quite desirable. Take that as a little clue. £60.
£60, you say. Tim, now leading 15-0. You can't be caught. Come on.
£600.
And you are the nearer, because it's 900 they've put on it. Well, it's anybody's guess in auction. If two people want a thing like that, we had a slightly lower figure, but why not? It's a rare thing. So 20-0, Tim wins, and I'm delighted to present him with this Dutch milk pail. Imagine the girl with the pigtails on the tiles.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Enjoying it? Good. Well, it's time now for Arthur's competition, but first of all, let's hear the result of last week.
Arthur Negus valued the brass candlestick at £280, and the first card, taken at random from those agreeing with this price, came from Mrs. Turner of Leeds.
There's a nice pair of 18th century urns, black. They're made to look like black marble. They've been carved and polished. You'll never guess what they're made of. They're made of coal. Yeah, C-O-A-L, coal. Coal mined from the Hague collieries near Wigan. There's a big industry up there from about 1650 to the middle of the 19th century. There's practically none of them about because you can see what happened. You see the seams of this coal. They just integrate, and that's the finish of them so far as I'm concerned, because I've never seen a pair of vases before made in coal. But there they are. They've got the true Adam type of shape. Pretty little bit of carved acanthus, rather pretty in the neck there, and these little pearls all round. Nice vase-shaped urn on a square base. And, of course, down on the base, something very nice, the maker's name. Our town, fake it, Wigan. And we do possess actually the receipt for these things. They cost £17, 1 shilling, in 1769. Now, what do you think they're worth today? I can assure you your guess will be just about as good as mine. So if you're lucky, you'll win a prize if you put down that figure on a card and send it to this programme.
Thank you, Arthur. Well, why don't you join in on a postcard and have a go? Not, I suppose, the most lovely things, but perhaps the most unusual he's brought. See what you think. Goodbye, good hunting.
Spellbinding performances of classical music and so much more. There's something for everyone at the BBC Proms. Listen and enjoy on BBC Sounds.